Alright, hey guys, this is a quick demonstration of the Fitbit Connect software, and as always, if this video helps you at all or is informative, please give my video a thumb up and subscribe if you'd like to. Have a great one. I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, here's a quick demonstration of the Fitbit Connect software. We're just going to explore all the different apps that come with the software that are free. I'm not going into the premium portions of the apps because I don't pay for the service. So we just press sync now, and as long as my tracker is picked up by the dongle that's attached to my computer, it should sync up pretty quickly. And once that's done, you just click go to dashboard. And mine's set to Google Chrome quickly. Alright, and now we see all these different ways in which we can track our fitness goals or anything else we're trying to accomplish with our Fitbit. I have the Fitbit HR Charge. Depending on what Fitbit you have, it will adjust essentially what apps are available. If you have the Surge, there's a little more about mapping because that's also a GPS device. Alright, so first thing, friends, I don't really do a whole lot with this, to be perfectly honest with you. You can connect to Facebook and you can basically make postings of your status, it's like you completed an exercise recently, or you can join groups together with other friends who have Fitbit and the Fitbit Connect software. But we're going to focus more on the exercise portions and the calories and all that other fun stuff to track. Alright, so the first one, recent exercises. This is actually done automatically by the software. As long as you exercise and keep up with it, it will interpret that activity as any given exercise. So today, on the 28th, I went for a walk around my neighborhood for a while for about 30 minutes. Based on my steps I was taking and on my heart rate, it was able to determine that I was walking, which I was. And it's actually fairly accurate how well it keeps up with things. So I did this really early in the morning, so I hopped around in bed, started walking, and so my body was kind of shocked and the heart rate spiked for a little while. After that, basically these hills and valleys, that represents what amounts to literally hills in my neighborhood that I walked through in a loop. So that's why you see that. We'll go back to the dashboard real fast and look at another exercise I did. It's the same loop, same walking. And we're going to see this is a little bit more evidence of the accuracy. So there's going uphill again, going uphill for the third time, and then I ended the exercise. And it tracks calories burned by estimation, your heart rate zones. So there's only 3 zones. So you go out of zone, fat burn, cardio, then up to peak. I never got beyond fat burn because it was just a walk. You'll see how many steps you took in any given exercise time you take. So it's actually fairly accurate, and it's a good way to keep track of things so you know what you're doing, and it's almost like giving yourself credit for the exercises you complete. Alright, weight goals. This is just going to pop up as a standard, basically like a pop-up menu within the Fitbit Connect software. So right now I'm about 213 pounds, and I have not been keeping track of my weight, so essentially I think I might have lost 2 pounds, but I just haven't entered it yet. And as you enter your weight, you can actually see your progress go up and down. If you were to change your weight daily, if you had a very sensitive scale and you weighed yourself the same time every day, you can actually see your weight fluctuation, and over time you see it grow or fall depending on how your weight loss is actually going. Alright, so your food log, pretty typical. I haven't been keeping up with it very well. It's been the holidays, kind of tough. But essentially the yellow bar is what you have recorded as your take-in for your calorie count, and the gray is your goal for the day. Like you're trying to not exceed, in this case, 2,800 calories. So I only took in 1,700 calories that day, so I had a 1,000 calorie deficit in theory. But you have to keep up with those numbers very carefully, because if you're off by a Sprite can a day, it adds up very quickly. And this is essentially the same representation of the same information, just in the form of basically a speedometer, just to give you an idea where you are. So right now it's going to be yellow because I haven't entered any calories for today, even though obviously I've eaten. So right now it's in the under category, and then you'll have the meeting expectations in the green, then you're exceeding your calorie load for the day when you're in the red, so you stay out of the red. Your drinks, this is basically a drink tally that goes on daily. The goal is 64 ounces, and you add this in on the food log, which is found up here. We'll go into that in just a minute. This is just for premium. This is the premium app, so this is when you need motivation. You can read articles, see other people's stories, that kind of stuff, but it's just not something I'm interested in paying for, so I'm not. And this is probably the coolest app right here, so we'll double click on it. We'll see if we can get that pop up. Oh, never mind, this one doesn't pop up. Forgot. Alright, so again, I've explained this in another video, but essentially it tracks your cardio, exercises throughout the whole day. So this is my heart rate throughout the whole day. I woke up around 8:30, there's my long walk. That's why it spikes there, and the rest of the day I'm just kind of working around the house, minimal activity, doing what I got to do, never really getting into that fat burn area. But it does add up. These little spikes add up to 65 minutes. Now that's not the same as 65 minutes of sustained working out and the calorie burn you'd get from that normally, but it does give you an idea of how often you do reach that peak amount. Same thing for steps. So there's where I had my little workout this morning. Distance traveled. This is only based on your height. So they assume if you're a certain height, your pacing will be a certain length. So if I walked around the neighborhood, they would basically assume my stride based on the height that I enter, which is at 5'11". So that's how they get the distance, because there's no GPS tracker in the Fitbit HR Charge. And I've only gone up a few flights of stairs today, just by virtue of being around and going up and down the neighborhood. And then you got your calorie burn, which is really only based on your heart rate, steps taken. So that's how they base the calories. So it's not terribly accurate to do a real calorie counting exercise. They actually hook you up to a bunch of machines, and it basically tracks how hot your breath is and your heart rate as you're breathing into an apparatus. It's very, very complicated. So obviously the calorie count is not terribly accurate, but it's better than nothing. And I don't think it overestimates, but occasionally it might, depending on what you're doing as far as steps taken. So if I'm just kind of meandering around, those steps count as if I was taking a full stride, even though I might just be like taking a half step or just kind of bobbing back and forth in the kitchen waiting for something to cook, which is not really burning calories, but it's counting it as if I'm in a walk. So it's not terribly accurate with that, but if you're active during the day, it is. But the less active you are, the less accurate it is. The more active you are, the more accurate it is. Alright, our BPM. This is actually kind of a cool little app that comes standard with this whole Fitbit Connect program. Essentially, it will track your resting heart rate, which is only going to be found when you're sleeping. So basically, it takes the time over in this app when it clocks your heart rate lowering to a point where it counts you as sleeping and figures out what it is. And I've actually, since November 28th, I've been exercising more, and as a result, my resting heart rate has gone down a little bit. Not terribly significantly, but it's definitely gone down. And here we have our sleep map. So this is a cool way to actually track your sleep patterns throughout the entire week. And essentially, so last night I had 8 hours, and it was 8.5 hours sleep. But I was awake 5 times during that time for 5 minutes, during that time, and I also was restless for 52 minutes. So basically, that's when you toss and turn. You're not necessarily awake. But that being said, you can actually track it and see everything that's going on. And this is during the holidays. I'm still tossing and turning, so I don't tend to sleep very well, but I do sleep long. But and it really does help keep track of things. So you're going to see, well, why am I feeling so run down? You click on this app, and if you see a bunch of really short blue bars and like nothing else, it means you've had enough sleep. The length of the overall bar is how long you were sleeping, and the little marks on the inside basically indicate being restless or being awake during that time period. And it's actually very, very accurate. My wife and I both noticed that within a 15-minute interval, this is accurate. We remember being awake for a certain portion of a show, which is in like the first 5 minutes of the show, and then we're not awake for the rest of it, and it catches us at like, let's say 11:10 when the show just started, and we don't remember the rest of it. We know we fell asleep at that point. So it's actually very, very accurate, considering it's just measuring your heart rate and going off that alone. And then you got the weekly activity chart. So it stays Monday, and basically you can go by your steps, your goal, which you can set yourself in your own little program and take care of things. Distance traveled, basically just tracks you over the week. Are you being active the whole week? So like steps climbed, I didn't climb any steps on Sunday. I live in a 1-story house. There's no steps. So obviously, unless I'm moving around or doing things out in the world and walking in the mall or something, I'm not going to go up or down very much. And then you have your chart, your goal chart. So essentially these are all standard goals that were set by the main option. And this is how you can change your activity. You go right down here, a little settings button that pops up, and you can change your amount. So I probably need to go ahead and up this to 15,000 steps just so I'm more active in keeping up with that goal. But the mileage, everything else, you can change it all around. This is all standard. This is the standard number, and that 3177 is based on my weight. That's all it's based on. and then you got your badges. So I have, what, 3 badges. I'm not really into this. I don't really keep up with it, but I went up 25 floors in a day. That was probably the biggest thing I did. In 20,000 steps. That was the day I was doing a whole lot of yard work. But I don't really keep up with the badges. Alright, the next little thing. We're going to look at the food log. We've already done this once a little bit. It's a pretty functional thing, and the fact that you can edit your own food is kind of helpful. But this is where you put in your water consumption. And water consumption is one of those things that's a pain in the butt to keep track of because you don't think about it. But I try to. But like it says, 0 fluid ounces, and it's 10:49 at night, and I still have not logged all the water I've had to drink, and I've had at least 64 ounces a day. So it's a discipline thing. It's basically what it comes down to with the Fitbit is you have to. It's worth what you use. If you don't use anything in it, yeah, it's worthless. But if you keep up with it and do well and track your progress, then it will help you out and you'll be better for it. One thing I have noticed with the recent exercises, you have to start logging certain exercises, like if you lift weights, and obviously your heart rate goes up when you're lifting weights, you're burning more calories, you're expending more energy, you're working your muscles. But the bottom line is it doesn't pick that up. It just sees a heart rate increase with nothing else. And usually there'd be very few steps during a weightlifting session. So it doesn't know what to do with that. So all it sees is a spike in your heart rate. It doesn't know why it's happening. Maybe you're watching a scary movie. It doesn't know. So you'd have to go in and actually click on your Fitbit and click the side of it and hold it down so it knows an exercise is started during that time. And then you go back later on and edit. So if I had recorded a recent exercise, it would basically pop up right here, and there'd be tiles here with exercises that I'd done, and I would basically identify what they were. So that's the be-all and end-all of all the apps for the Fitbit HR Charge. There's obviously more with the HR Surge and less with other, and less going on with like just the standard Fitbit that only tracks your steps and distances and your weight. It doesn't do anything with your heart rate. So the more intricate the machine is, obviously the more they can do with as far as recording. Like the Surge is a GPS device, so they can do more with maps, and you can keep track of things that way, and you can share it with your friends and say, hey, I walked this path today, that kind of stuff. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy doing these videos. This is probably one of the coolest Christmas presents I got this year. I really enjoy having a Fitbit on. It's the only watch I've ever worn for more than a week, I want to say. So it's definitely been really fun to have this on. So thanks y'all for watching. Like my video, subscribe to my channel if you like it. I hope to do more of these reviews, and have a great day.